Cash Color Cannabis, a high level of conversation on live hiphopdaily.tv, and this episode is sponsored by Atlantis Clothing. Our Drug Lord, Atlantis, and Return of the Viper collections are all available for sale at our website, atlantisclothing.com. So stop by and shop today. All right, man. So last week this time we were sitting here and we had the election on the screen. It was a lot going on. Matter of fact, the election's still going on apparently. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who you ask. But it's so crazy that we got the following week we got somebody in the city who really could speak about just the way Atlanta's changing, especially since we saw Atlanta be very influential in helping the state turn blue. And that's my man Bam Joyner, man. Bam, how you doing today, bro?
Yo, I'm doing good, yo. I appreciate finally getting on here. Like we can just run into each other randomly around the city, and just would chop it up, passing. So yeah, this is dope. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Appreciate you, man. So creative, culture creator, artist, just all kind of things that you bring to the table, man. But for those who don't know you or don't live in Atlanta, outside of Atlanta, who is Bam Joyner?
Shoot, I guess I'm 41, so I want to jump there. Just I identify as Gen X, the tail end.
Is that us? I turned 41 in December 4th. Like, are we Gen X? I don't know what generation.
So they have given us a name called Zennial. So it's the tail end, the X mixed with millennial.
So we don't even get our own. Okay.
Nah, and we super hybrid. Small. So but that's my point in jumping out there and leading with that.
Okay.
Because this is we in this weird age. Well, I guess like Fabulous would say, young OG, you know what I'm saying? And so you hear a lot about the boomers, you hear a lot about millennials, kind of Gen Z, but you don't never hear nothing about our age group. It's always kind of skipped over. So yeah, I'm 41, from Southwest Atlanta, West End to be exact, and unique Atlanta upbringing, man. I'm not, T.I. from Bankhead and he went to Doug. Killer Mike from Adamsville, he went to Doug. They from neighborhoods that fed into certain schools. I'm from the West End, was raised by H. Rap Brown, Imam El Amin, and all of the kind of the Muslims and the Hebrew Israelites and Rastafarians and Victorian homes in the West End. But I was bused elementary through high school to Buckhead. So if you're not from Atlanta, everybody heard of Lenox. So I went to elementary, middle school, and high school around the corner from Lenox Mall. So I didn't go to school in my area. I got like the full gambit of Atlanta from north to south. I got a chance to experience it growing up, and that's really defined how I move today. So yeah.
Yeah, man, the ability to cross over lines, you know what I mean? And that upbringing alone speaks about that. Like, I have a similar one myself. Like, I started off going through, I'm from Boston, public school system all my life. And luckily for me, I knew how to play basketball. And when you know how to play basketball, even in the simplest way, they'll figure out ways for you to get out of a public school system. So I had a chance to go to a boarding school, and that changed my whole perspective on like literally everything, you know what I mean? Because you come from one area and then you seeing another thing happening, and it's all kind of blocks away from each other, So, yeah, so that definitely shapes you. I can understand that. Let's dive into the creative side, though, man, of Bam Joyner. I heard that you started out working at Tower Records, bro.
Damn. That's crazy. Well, after I graduated from Jackson State University in 2002, that's where I met Jabari Graham and Cortez Bryant. We all went to Jackson State at the same time. But yeah, I came back to Atlanta, and I had a degree in marketing. And what I didn't understand is that, and this really leads me to why I do a particular type of work today. I thought you could, like a lawyer would take the LSAT, I think it's LSAT, whatever they take to become a lawyer, or whatever test you take to become a teacher. I thought you could do something to work at a record label. I thought
like
you
take
could.
A test.
Yeah, or fill out the application like other jobs. So I tried to like position myself. I wanted to be an A&R, you know what I'm saying? I knew I couldn't rap, my rhythm was off, but I had an amazing ear, I thought. And I didn't know what else to do, and went to Tower. I used to always go look at the magazines and stuff at Tower.
Bro, me too, man. I was rest in peace, Tower. That was I used to skip school and do that.
So to work there, which is funny because if you used to skip school to do that, the thing about working there, they had an employee hold bin. So throughout the week, if you saw random stuff come in through the used, especially the used records.
Yeah.
But anything come in, you could put it in the employee hold bin, and they could deplete it out your check. So that was like, it was like crack. It was like a.
Are you waiting for what's good? What you about to see today?
Yeah, your check. You ain't got no check. You done spent it all throughout the week. But yeah, that was where I got a chance to meet DJ Drama and Cannon. I got some mixtape stories from there, but D4L and them, I did the in-store for Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, and I met Elton John. Just all like it was a musician's music store, obviously. Yeah. So yeah. And they used to always talk about what made us different from the music store in the mall and wearing khakis or working at Best Buy in the music section, but then got to go talk about a wash machine. We're like, nah, you at Tower Records.
You talking about the music
all day, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Tower Records. Rest in peace, Tower Records, man. I literally I would skip school and go sit in them aisles and just read magazines all day. Like that was my education from ninth grade, bro.
Yeah.
So I know that. Speak to us about what the Tomorrows is, because that leads us into a lot of other things I want to talk to you about. So what is the Tomorrows and how did that come to be?
It's a marketing agency that I started with my partner Ian Ford, who I met around the corner down Walker, probably 2005. And we started a earlier marketing company with another friend of ours named Alex Morgan. It was called Revolutions, Rebellious Revolutionary Solutions to Marketing. And so we used to basically street team and aggressive street team efforts, take risks that other street teams, wouldn't take. Yeah. Try to get the poster on this way up the pole over here by the highway, all type of stuff. And we would try to convince clients that we weren't just running around Atlanta doing strip club flyers or whatever. Like, we could really set your flyers up in the unique places, whatever. That grew from clubs into brands, and in the brand space. Well, we were throwing parties with Fadia Cater and Broken Bougie and Sloppy Seconds with them, and out of that started these relationships with these brands. Alex went to school and got married, left me and Ian. We deaded Revolutions and went into the Tomorrows as digital started to set in. Yeah. And things started being less street teamy and more kind of digital campaign engagement. And so Ian came up with the name The Tomorrows, meaning, we identify as futurists. So we here today, under the saying of, you learn from the past, you give thanks for right now in the moment, and you live in the moment and give thanks for it, but you always planning for tomorrow. Yeah. So that was the agency, The Tomorrows, just on what's next.
Bro, that's lit, man, because I know, that's lit. I like the concept behind that.
Yeah, man. Ian from Brooklyn, he always, he would be quick with the snazzy names of things.
Brooklyn shit, man.
Yeah, it is, yo.
So, but you're a native Atlantean, and I know you've seen a massive changes yourself over the last few decades. How do you feel about the Atlanta you see currently? Like, are you, from what you're seeing, what would you say you're the most proud of as far as when you see change in the city?
I was just talking about this. So I love to compete, man. I love sports. And because of that, I led with my age. I come from an Atlanta that when I was 14, 15, 16, we still weren't really all the way cool. And we always in the shadow of New York being on the East Coast. And just from a media standpoint, LA and New York, that's all you hear about. So wanting to compete, I love driving down 75, 85 now by Georgia Tech on the opposite side of the highway, and you see a lot of buildings. It's filled in. And I remember could look through that and see to the other side of Midtown. But in me wanting to compete, taking the word from the planning commissioner of Atlanta, Tim King, we have a lot of sprawl, And so you can't really see the capacity of Atlanta because it's so spread out. You start going to the metropolitan, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But I need more density downtown. I need it to be like Chicago and New York, like even though we're in the COVID era.
Do you think it has the capability to ever do that? Like Atlanta, just infrastructure wise, like I'm watching the buildings come up right now that I'm not sure can actually fit. Like, do you feel like we could actually get that kind of density in the city of Atlanta?
I think we need better, like Austin with their grid. Well, damn, to your point, we're not on the grid. So and that's going back to the Civil War when Atlanta got burnt down. Atlanta is you ever seen like somebody, you be like, damn, they got a bad body, like they just badly made up. Like that's Atlanta's shape versus like Austin and certain cities, even Boston, they smooth on these grids.
It was built in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And our city wasn't burnt down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know if Atlanta would ever get that type of density, but I love the buildings. I love the energy. I love the diversity.
So you're not scared of the newness. Like I meet a lot of people who are native of Atlanta and they've been here a long time. And one thing it comes off to me that they're nervous of the newness. They're nervous of seeing new buildings. They're nervous of seeing new people in different areas. Like so you're not nervous of the newness.
So it's not really. It's yes and no. I mean we could touch on T.I. Post too, but the unfortunate part about the Atlanta native again, when I was 14, 15, we wasn't really that cool. But you take a 14, 15-year-old version of me that was living in LA and New York, them cities, they were what they were. Yeah. That 14 and 15-year-old ain't really contribute to LA culture like that. They didn't contribute.
They woke up in it.
Yeah, versus I'm the same age as Criss Cross. You know what I'm saying? And my OGs is Arrested Development. Well, more so, the DJ from Arrested Development used to cut my hair in the 5th grade. And that was the first person I knew to catch a real record deal was Arrested Development. And then Criss Cross, they went to a rival middle school. Those are outright peers, same exact age. So it's almost like as I lost my virginity and started going through puberty, that's when I grew with Atlanta. Yeah. But a New Yorker my age didn't grow in New York and LA. So if that's the case, right, if I grew with the city, then whenever the large amount of transplants started coming, I mean, the first wave with New York on the other end of the Olympics, we used to call it the Trail of Tears. All these New Yorkers just running here. But
the Trail of Tears.
I say like 05, around the time when Waka, cause nobody would know he's from Queens, but around the time that group, especially like start getting the BMF time, and on the other end of that, it just the floodgates opened. And the unfortunate part about that, when you do the math, if Atlanta just started getting on when in 95, 96, we just started really catching our shit, we ain't really had nothing but a 10-year run to experience that by ourselves without everybody else interference. We don't need your interference. We want to do Freaknik. We want to experience our Atlanta way of life a little bit longer than wherever you from, however you got to experience your way of life.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But it got tempered. We only got 10 years to ourselves before everybody else moved here.
Yeah, and a lot of it was, Atlanta opening their arms. Like,
most definitely. And I love that.
Yeah,
we need it. It's a gift and a curse. You can't really have, cut off the nose, spike the face. I don't know. I think internally Atlanta needs to storytell better and control its narrative better, and not, because we aren't doing that, that's what makes us angry at times at everyone else. But we're not controlling the narrative, and that's where the damn brand came from.
Bro, that's an amazing transition, because one thing that we do know, especially with the people who have come to this city have helped the city kind of diversify in a lot of ways, and we learned that last week during election time. That we've watched a city that basically was always checked on as well, a state that's always checked off as just GOP, literally got flipped, and it was only in these cities, only in Fulton and in DeKalb County, man. So first off, let's speak about the influence of Atlanta when it comes to this election. The national election and the local elections is coming up. How do you see that right now? Like, what was your first question? What was your first reaction when you heard that Fulton and DeKalb helped turn the state Democrat?
Oh man, I was it caught me off guard because it never really
dawned on you.
It never really came down to them cities before.
Oh,
I never saw us highlighted. We were never really. I ain't gonna say never. It's been a while since we've been a swing state where they say, "Well, you just got to have Georgia." It felt like we were a nice to have, and so when it came down to Georgia, it's like wow, and then I saw where the energy was coming from because, if it was coming down to Richmond County or Bibb County or where, what's that, where Ahmaud Arbery, was that Richmond? I think it was Richmond County where he was killed.
Shot it, yeah.
Like, if it came down to them counties, then it'd be like, oh, shit, well, we already know how that.
Yeah.
But when it said the metropolitan Atlanta area and Fulton and DeKalb, I'm like, damn, it's coming down to that?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of white people hitting me like, man, I think Atlanta really does influence everything. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? But then when I saw what was happening, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was dope to see personally. You know, I had a chance to work with New Georgia Project actually the last 5 years of my life. So I've been out here registering people to vote, doing get out the votes. It was one of them things I hope to see, but like you mentioned, it's never been a thing. You know what I'm saying? That they thought that, Georgia would be that place or Atlanta would be that place or Fulton, any of the spots out here would be anything that would be up for grabs.
That Blue Island in the middle of a red state.
Buddy, yeah, it was Atlanta, then there's Georgia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now it's looking like it's really a situation where you could fully turn it blue. You go with Pastor Warnock and Jon Ossoff.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the excitement and all the hoopla and all the energy that was behind us these last couple of months? Do you think that will trickle over to the runoffs with Ossoff and Warnock?
Man, that's the $1 million question. That's all everybody. So right before I got here, so maybe about 20 days ago, the DNC contacted me with another group of people. I think it's like B. Cox and Kenny Burns and D.L. Warfield and Prophet from the Black Music Action Coalition. But they were concerned about the lack of black men that were early voting. And so they started talking about the 100-day plan of Joe Biden and, just what needed to be done. And so they sent an email right before I got here. And it's like it seems like the might of the DNC is leaning, like whatever was used for Biden, they know that their job is not done. So all of the mountain up that the DNC did for him, they are shifting that same energy apparently to Georgia. So that's that. But then you have, last ditch effort. I'm not gonna go without a fight, or if I got to go, I'm gonna take all y'all with me type of attitude from the other side. Yeah. So there's a doubling down on Kelly and David Perdue, like just on some hater.
Oh yeah,
just like pure, like well, at least let y'all stay in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like we can give you a president, but we ain't gonna let you get 2 other seats.
Yeah.
One of those situations, man. I want to see that energy continue on. I think that really is going to be one. Honestly, I think Pastor Warnock would have just won if there was one less person. I think that we don't.
Oh yeah, that it's always weird with the third person.
Mm-hmm. If it was one less person,
you gotta wonder
like,
are you serious? Or are you a plant,
bro? Look,
are you a hater?
One less
which
person.
Which one are you, yo?
I think that Jon Ossoff would have been a runner. Matter of fact, I think David Perdue helped Jon Ossoff. Like those those ads he was running on Hulu, YouTube, like all damn day. I was like, I think y'all introduced John Ossoff. Like, I've been in these streets. Not a lot of people actually know him.
Yeah.
I think you helped him a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I
Yeah.
talk, he got a nickname now, Hollywood John. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done did too much for this man already, man.
He's a Paideia kid.
Bro, I'm ready
cool.
to see what this looks like though, as these weeks come through, because I think that Atlanta actually is on the brink of where they are influencing everything. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Atlanta influences everything, you know, I'm over here every Tuesday telling people that we have a cannabis scene in Atlanta that almost rivals shit you see in recreational cities. You know what I'm saying? It's just we just doing wild differently. It's just a wild different scene, and I think that's dope. Atlanta influences a lot of different areas, a lot of different spaces. It's clear as day. What made you want to? What made the Atlanta influences everything concept come about in the first place, and what made you want to just put a stamp on it? Like, yeah, we do. Atlanta influences everything.
Damn. First of all, I got to say, so I'm scared of the business of cannabis in Atlanta. Like if it were to happen overnight in terms of
like legalized, like actual
dispensaries. Like I don't. Again, kind of back to T.I.'s message, the good, bad, and ugly of his post. The energy that's in the market right now, like the all the shootings at Lenox. It's some of these be Atlanta folk, but a lot of this shit don't be Atlanta, and I get it. I understand, but until we can kind of get a better hold on who's in the city, and I don't know how you do that, on like what's the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Because Denver, that's a vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the niggas in Denver that robbed the dispensaries, them some niggas in Denver. Or they from round somewhere, Las Vegas. They ain't coming from, Atlanta got rando niggas. And so I don't trust the weed business, as big as it is, with so much rando shit going on.
Well, see,
you know
I give you some love. I can give you some insight. I actually do trust it in a way because of the foundation that's already laid down. Like you have certain things already in place. And I think the one thing that media already exists here. You know, so we have that here. You already have people who are influential on the political side. You have that here as far as local activists. You have here already infrastructure, really. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, the legacy market, the black market in Atlanta has existed, period. You know what I'm saying? It's going to continue to exist even if we're dispensaries. But you already have people who are business people. You already have people who are probably skilled at doing the things that's necessary. It wouldn't. I don't feel like it would be a situation where if we went legal, the city would get run down or run over with just a flood of new people. I don't think it'd just be allowed. But also with that said, I go back to what you said about Atlanta still is trying to negotiate what its story is. You know, like you say, from 90, you had a 10-year run where it was just Atlanta and y'all could tell y'all story and have the life that you wanted to live. And then other people started coming down and they started adding on to the story. You know, that's definitely something that could happen when it comes to the
and
weed.
great added on great pieces. I mean, Ushers from Chattanooga, and you know, like from a media standpoint, what BMF did for the city and for the culture from a brand perspective, in American lore, and then even the Make It Rain phenomenon that we've never really come back from, because there was Atlanta always had the strip club culture, but there was strip club culture pre-BMF and then post-BMF. And the pre-BMF, it was like going to J.R. Cricket's. You know what I'm saying? It's not a high tax to go to J.R. Cricket's and hang out and eat some wings.
Yeah.
And just whatever. So you get your little $5 lap dance, kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Negro golf course, maybe, I guess. But on the other side of BMF, that's done. I mean, if you ain't spending, it's not. You know, so it's like a gift and a curse. But there are things. Real Housewives, like majority of the especially the first season of Real Housewives, majority of them weren't from here, so those weren't I can't speak about the housewives in other markets, but that wasn't us. That's not our behavior. Stevie J, like his behavior, that's not really Atlanta nigga behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But from a TV perspective, they'll be like, oh, he's loving hip hop Atlanta. We don't know that nigga though. Like I know him because I'm a hip hop fan, and he was one of the 12 with Diddy. You know, the hit squad, like that's Stevie J.
Yeah,
with
you
E.
know him, but you don't.
But I don't.
know
Nah,
him.
he not Atlanta Public Schools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the it's all added. So okay, Atlanta influenced everything. I had to actually come up with a real reason when I had to do a TEDx talk, because you know how that them talks go. So you have to explain. So I had to really think and like, okay. So it was 3 C's that I settled on, and it was why if I wear the shirt or anybody wear the shirt anywhere outside Atlanta and someone were to challenge you on it, how you can possibly get that person off your back. And it's 3 C's, and the first is the home of Dr. King and the civil rights movement. And so it's not many cities on earth where you get these big mythical figures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A Bob Marley, a Mahatma Gandhi, these are like Santa Claus-y
type figures.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this guy, Dr. King, is from our soil. And so the civil rights movement kind of gets built around. So that's 1 C. The second C is one of the most recognizable brands in the world that it don't matter what letters you put over it or whatever, shit, it's right here. Coca-Cola, everybody know that symbol. That's from the same soil, same small ass city, same soil as Dr. King. That's very rare. So we have a strong chamber, number 3 for Fortune 500 companies, so we got a strong corporate base. So that's civic and corporate. And the third C would be culture. We're the home of urban culture. And what that means is, and all 3 of the C's have, in different ways, pulled transient people in.
Yeah.
People follow Dr. King here. People move here to work at these big companies or whatever. And then people move here for the culture. And so all of the Grady baby, in my mind, that's okay, I'm real Atlanta, I'm Grady baby. They just kind of tilled the soil and made it easy for other black and other people, but other black people to come plant whatever it is you trying to plant. And that's our gift to you. But what you're planting in that soil, that's your gift to us as well. But coming together, that's our gift to the culture. So you done brought your slang from Gary, Indiana. You done brought the goddamn beignets and shit from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? You done brought all these little bits and pieces, shit that your grandmama did wherever you from. You done brought that here, mixed it in with what we got. And then when it come back out as the dab or some little something. And it's like, damn. And to draw it all back in a conversation with Nike in 2015 with Chaos. When Chaos was in Nike at Portland, they were doing the 2016 Atlanta, the 20th anniversary of the 1996 Olympics. They did some Bo Jackson cross trainers. And in Chicago, I saw that Nike did a Jordan release, like maybe for some Jordan 1s. They did this big ass event in Chicago, and I saw another, Adidas had put a shoebox overnight, a life-size shoebox in Central Park in New York, where you could go in and buy sneakers at a discounted price over the weekend. So we had planned a scavenger hunt on MARTA and all this. You would end up at Centennial Park. Nike didn't want to spend the money. So, and when we were trying to figure out why they weren't spending the money in our market, the stuff that we were trying to say we had, we realized Nike, they were just thinking it's black culture. Like, oh, this slang or this dance, that's black. But it's coming from somewhere though. If you continue to follow certain trends back to their essence, yeah, it'll be black. But if you continue to follow it to a location, a lot of times it's gonna come from somewhere around the Atlanta area. And so because they said we didn't have the bean like in Chicago, there were certain things that we didn't have. Like
landmark wise?
Yeah, landmark wise, or even numbers wise, population.
Okay.
And media market as well. And so there wasn't nothing I could do about us not having those things. And in frustration, I just yelled out to the Nike cat. I'm like, man, I don't know about all that you talking about. Yeah, you right. We don't got all that, man. But all I can tell you, man, Atlanta influenced everything, bro. That's all I can tell you. And so Ian, being the Brooklyn, the New York, he went to Morehouse. He heard it and was like, damn, man, I'm from Brooklyn, man, and I want to say something against it, but I don't think I can. Matter of fact, I think we might need to put that on a shirt. Like, I want to see how it look, and then it just kind of
went there, man. Bro, it's run everywhere. Matter of fact, we had your vote influences everything.
That's Coca-Cola, yo. Coca-Cola hit us up to get those done.
Bro, that's lit, man. Because I'm out voting. On election day, I saw several people wearing shirts. Wearing Atlanta influences everything shirt, or your vote influences everything shirt. And matter of fact, seeing that in the streets gave me optimism that, man, I might see some random ass shit happen in this election tonight. You know what I'm saying?
But I do want to put the onus back on you, because earlier you had said you had been doing the work about 5 years. Georgia Stand Up, New Georgia Project, Insay Foot.
Shout out to Insay, man.
Like, and even, Stacey Abrams and Fair Fight. I appreciate how our brand is like being associated with this. But we put that same effort into just cultural relevancy for Atlanta and for urban culture. And so we didn't work on voting for 5 years. That's not what we do.
I feel you.
What I appreciate is being given the opportunity to really justify the statement. I think, when Nipsey had the marathon, like what the ideology of what he was trying to execute out there, I feel like, because we don't have, the young niggas be fucking with the gang shit, but real Atlanta niggas, we don't fuck with no gang shit. So the gang shit and that lifestyle, it is counter, in my opinion, from Southwest Atlanta. It is counterproductive to what Nipsey was trying to build with the marathon. Now, the gang shit might have been needed for Nipsey to be born out of that, to see why he needed to do the marathon. So I'll give it that. But in order to execute what Shawty was trying to execute, even though LA, it's a lot of money out there, you got the white folks, you got Ben Horowitz with Andreessen Horowitz investment firm that fund that type shit. It was still a lot of shit in the way of him fully executing, obviously. And I feel Atlanta has the soil and the space and the platform where you can really execute that type of marathon, continue that type of strategy. You know what I'm saying? And so what the voting, being pulled into the voting stuff, it allowed us to prove what we always wanted to show, was that our culture and our influence, that is worth something, that is valuable in more ways than one. And you can get the King Von shit, right? Or, and that's unchecked. That's just kind of, or if you really put some elders around it, put some shit that makes sense around it, start making it make sense for everybody in their family, and how it makes sense to you, the other side of that influence can actually move people to vote. Now, who they vote for or whatever, again, we was just trying to get people
to the polls.
To the polls. So yeah, we just wanted to, and it showed that the culture could do that. And so if people see the culture can do that, then what we, hopefully the same way with cannabis, with policy, if there could be some policy, and I'm not a policy wonk like that, but I do understand that a couple years ago in Atlanta, you go to jail for a blunt. You know what I'm saying? And then apparently some policy changed, and
now
it's
some
slow.
ticket, yeah.
You know, but now the blunt it's a $75 blunt now.
Yeah, versus $275.
Yeah.
Running the number up, man. Man, I wish I had more time with you, man. Like, you definitely got so much to say about Atlanta. I think you have a dope vision of what Atlanta could look like in the future, and just the fact
Look like Atlantavis.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully we can keep building that.
Yeah.
So creative, activist, visionary, cool ass dude. You have a lot of titles, man. When it's all said and done, which one do you want to be proud of the most?
Damn, shawty.
What a Maurice.
I mean, cause you a father. You be like, yo, I want to be a father, but I believe my kids on some legacy shit. Cause you can still get one of those in Atlanta. Like, you put in the work. It don't even matter if you from here. You put in a particular amount of work here, you can actually carve out you a piece of legacy.
Yeah.
You get you a brick. Not
literally, but yeah.
But like a brick, like at Centennial Park, when you can put your name on the bricks with
We
the
can bring a
not
BMF
the,
back.
Yeah, not the other brick. But I would God damn, man. It's probably the lane, but it's still being developed. So I think when it's all said and done, the definition, aside from Outkast, of what an ATLian is, because I think New Yorker has a brand on TV. I think someone from LA, black or white or Latino, has a brand on TV. They might be stereotypical brands,
But they have a brand.
But they have a brand, Boston, all that. You know, all that.
I hate that brand.
You know, but Atlanta, I think an ATLian. I don't. What's that on Wednesday on CBS? Chicago Wednesday, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med. Atlanta, we ain't got there yet, and so I want to be a ATLian, whatever that brand is. In the big scope of things, I would like to be that, like a Chicagoan or a New Yorker, but whatever an ATLian is that.
Bro, you just dropped a lot on us tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a dope episode to listen back to later. I appreciate your time coming through with us, man. Please kick it with us for our next interview, man. Hang out around Atlanta City.
Oh, yeah, no, I need to, yeah. No, you'll see me more, man.
That's what's up,
You'll see me more, yo.
And that's Cash Color Campus, high level of conversation. Thank you, Ben, for coming through, man.
Sir, appreciate you having me.
All right, cool.